In today's business book tip of the day, I'm going to tell you the important if-then conditional principle of getting your people to be motivated for very complex, difficult tasks. Stick around. My name is Kirk K. Barbera. So this note card comes from Drive, The Surprising Truth That Motivates Us by Daniel H. Pink. And I recommend you check out the other business book tips of the day that I've been doing on this book, because this is a very impressive book that tells a whole new way to motivate people. And this is a very influential book in business today. So I recommend, if you're in business, that you understand the new discoveries about what really motivates human beings. In a past note card book tip, I talked about the difference between a routine and a non-routine task. Here's the important thing. Is the task at hand routine? That is, does accomplishing it require following a prescribed set of rules to a specified end? So, logging footage for film is very routine, where it's you just, typing in descriptions and, of each clip that you get for footage. Or if you're in real estate, you're stuffing mailers, the stuffing of the mailer, that part is routine. It's very basic. Data input for Excel sheets, very, very routine. But there's a lot of non-routine or more creative tasks. And another business book tip of the day, I gave the candle problem and talked a little bit about creative tasks. So now we're going to talk a little bit about the difference between an if-then reward and a now-that reward, and why it's important to differentiate between routine and non-routine. So again, routine tasks is something like stuffing mailers, or let's say you're a nonprofit and you're rolling posters and you're helping put, staple them all over town for some event that you're doing, Save the Kittens or something. And that is routine though. The rolling up of the poster, the going out and the hammering them in different places, that's a very routine task. And so you can use, depending on what the organization, you can use a little bit of if-then reward. So if you do these things, I'll give you this reward. And I talked about in the other business book tip how to do that properly. Now, in non-routine tasks, though, that can actually be very damaging, and you might destroy their ability or desire to do it. So a non-routine task is, what do you put on the poster? That's a non-routine creative task. Or if you're a real estate professional, stuffing mailers is a routine task. What you write on there, or what kind of advertising you use and the actual verbiage and everything, that is a non-routine task. That's something that requires a little bit more thought and creativity. So let me read this little note card. Any extrinsic reward should be unexpected and offered only after the task is complete for creative tasks. So that's the non-routine. The best approach is to have already established the conditions of a genuinely motivating environment. So you want to shift to a now that philosophy, as in, now that you've finished the poster or finished writing the letter for your real estate deals, now that you finished the poster and it turned out so well, I'd like to celebrate by taking you out to lunch. Does that make sense here? So what's really important here is that if it's a routine task, you do if-then conditional rewards. If you do these conditions, if you finish these conditions of posting up these posters or putting these lawn signs all over town, then I'll give you a $100 reward. However, that is a bad philosophy for non-routine creative tasks, like what goes on the poster. So in that case, you want to do a now that philosophy. So you wait till after they have done it. You say, okay, you give them the assignment of writing up your verbiage for advertising, and you say, now that you've done that, I'd like to give you tickets to Spurs game or whatever. The point is that you want to give that after, so it's intrinsically motivating to do this creative task. Now the caveat here, this is an important caveat. Repeated now that bonuses can quickly become expected if-then entitlements, which can ultimately create crater performance. So if you always are doing now that you've done this, here's your reward, then it obviously triggers that person to think, well, if I do this creative task, I'm going to get this reward. if I do this creative task, I'm going to get this reward. And the point is that you want to avoid that. So some ways to do that is to get creative yourself in how you reward people. Maybe you don't always reward them. Maybe if they do such a stellar job that it knocks you off your feet, you give them, a trip around the world or something. I don't know. But you do that after they've done it. And the point is you want people to be intrinsically motivated with how they do things and how they do non-routine tasks. And that's your business book tip of the day. Remember the difference between routine and non-routine tasks. It's very critical. This is from Drive, The Surprising Truth of What Motivates Us. My name is Kirk K. Barbera. And remember, reading is not a passive sport. It's an active sport. It's a contact sport. So go out there, make some contact with books.